Wilson's finding some space from the mid-range and connecting. 3 for 3 from the mid-range.
Skip Bayless just dropped a bomb. He felt guilty praising Caitlin Clark because she's white. Can you believe it? The sports world is buzzing, and Clark's at the center of it all. But there's more to this story than meets the eye. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. You know what's crazy? While Skip's out here worrying about praising Clark, she's dealing with something way bigger. The rookie sensation who seemed unstoppable, she's hit a wall. And it's not just any wall, it's the defending champs. How long before the pressure starts to crack her shine? Caitlin Clark's been tearing up the WNBA, but now she's facing her toughest challenge yet.
Here's A'ja Wilson knocking down her first look. This play second fastest, Indiana third fastest, and Lexi Hull, the league's
and now
Clark lob it up, Kelsey Mitchell wide open, and knocks down a triple.
The Indiana Fever, they're struggling big time against the top teams, especially the Aces. Imagine being the new kid and your team can't beat the big dogs. That's Clark right now. Let's talk about those Aces games. 3 matchups, 3 losses, all by double digits. Ouch. In their first game, Clark only scored 8 points. The Fever lost by nearly 20. Talk about a rough start. The second time around, a little better. Clark put up 13 points and dished out 11 assists. But still, another L in the books. Now, their latest game against the Aces, that's where things really went south. Clark was off her game, big time. She went 1 for 10 from 3-point range, 1 for 10. That's not the Clark we're used to seeing. She only scored 16 points total.
Wilson, mid-range, where she's 2 for 2.
Kelsey Mitchell has to be
For the Aces this year. As Clark got around Stokes, gets to the rim, lays it in, and a foul. Young leaves it, and it's a 3-ball for Hayes. We like seeing Caitlin Clark pass her because a lot of people didn't realize she was that high up on the college scoring charts as Wheeler buries it.
People are starting to notice, and you know the pressure's building. But here's the thing, it's not just about Clark. The whole Fever team is feeling it. They can't seem to crack the Aces code, and if they keep losing like this, it could mess with their heads, especially if they meet in the postseason. Imagine going into a playoff game knowing you've never beaten this team. That's some serious psychological warfare. And let's not forget about the Aces' defense. They're not messing around. They've been putting Clark in foul trouble and shutting down her scoring. It's like they've got her number, and they're not afraid to use it. Clark's fighting spirit is admirable, but it might be masking a bigger issue.
7 to down 7. The Fever had all of the energy early on. Championship medal of Las Vegas on full display, and Clark
got confused there for a second.
She's had that kind of night here so far. Indiana turns it over. They took pretty good care of the ball in the first quarter, just 2 turnovers. Both of them were late in the quarter as Gray right up the middle. Hayes staying aggressive, this time back outside. Colson chop fakes the 3, got by Clark, flips it back to Gray, who gets inside.
Behind closed doors, the Fever's dynamics are shifting in ways no one expected. How long before these hidden tensions boil over? You'd think with a star like Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever would be riding high. But here's the thing, success isn't just about one player, it's about the whole team. And right now, the Fever are facing some serious growing pains. Let's talk about those Aces games. 3 losses, all by double digits. That's gotta hurt. And it's not just about the scoreboard. These losses are messing with the team's confidence.
Colson into a double team, out to Alicia Clark.
Yeah, you gotta keep your at the beginning of the year.
Clark sees a double, bounces for Boston. There's Mitchell on the drive, pulls up. Her first scoring. Jackie Young on the drive. Gray putting on the moves. Clark sticks with her, and Gray gets it.
Imagine going into every game against a top team feeling like you're already beaten. That's the kind of mental block that can wreck a season. But it's not just about the losses. It's about how the team is handling them. Clark's been struggling, especially in that last Aces game. 1 for 10 from 3-point range? That's rough. And you know what happens when your star player's off their game? The whole team feels it.
She's gonna drive her.
She does. Kick out Clark, who hits her second 3. There's Alicia Clark, 3 for 3.
Alicia Clark at Middle Tennessee State. She went 1 for 9 in one of the games from the free throw line against Las Vegas earlier this season. She's working on it.
Wilson's been deadly in the mid-range here tonight.
Wilson.
Now here's where it gets tricky. Clark's not just any rookie, she's a media sensation. Everyone's watching her every move. That kind of attention, it can cause some serious tension in a locker room. Imagine being a veteran player, grinding for years, and suddenly this rookie comes in and steals all the spotlight. That's gotta sting. And let's not forget what Clark said after that tough Aces game. She mentioned the physicality, saying, "I feel like the Aces are one of the most physical teams. I was dealing with some contact." That's not just about the game. It's about Clark learning to handle the toughness of the WNBA. But is the rest of the team ready to step up and support her? This next game against the Aces? It's do or die for team confidence. If they lose again, it could be a serious blow to morale. But if they win, it could be the turning point they need. It's not just about beating the Aces anymore. It's about proving to themselves that they can hang with the best. But here's the real question. How's Clark handling all this pressure? She's got the weight of the team on her shoulders, the eyes of the media on her every move, and now she's facing her toughest opponent yet. Is she cracking under the pressure, or is this just making her stronger? Clark's facing the toughest test of her career, and her reaction is surprising even her biggest critics. The way she's handling this pressure isn't just impressive, it's changing the game. But can she keep it up? You'd think with all the noise around her, Caitlin Clark would be losing focus. But guess what? She's doing the exact opposite. While everyone's talking about Skip Bayless and his comments, Clark's got her eyes on the prize. She's not letting anything distract her from the game she loves. Here's the thing, Clark's not just ignoring the controversy, she's using it as fuel. Every time someone tries to make it about race or media attention, Clark brings it right back to basketball. It's like she's got blinders on, and the only thing she sees is the court. And you know what's really wild? Even with all this pressure, Clark's game is getting better. She's not cracking under the spotlight, she's thriving in it. It's like the more people talk, the harder she plays. That's some next-level mental toughness right there. But don't just take my word for it. Cheryl Reeve, the Olympic coach, is calling Clark a future Hall of Famer. That's not just praise, that's a bold prediction about Clark's potential. And coming from someone like Reeve, that's huge. Now, let's talk about how Clark's handling all this attention. You know how some rookies let the fame go to their heads? Not Clark. She's staying humble, focusing on her team, and letting her game do the talking. It's like she's got this invisible shield against all the drama. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's not just playing basketball anymore. She's rewriting the playbook on how to handle pressure. Every time she steps on the court, she's showing young players everywhere how to tune out the noise and focus on what matters. And you know what's crazy? This is just the beginning. Clark's still a rookie, still learning, still growing. If this is how she handles pressure now, imagine what she'll be like in a few years. We might be watching the birth of a legend here, folks.